pioneer life and 10 chores from way back in the day. I sometimes forget that my mom didn't grow up as a pioneer in late 1800, but actually about 100 years later in the 1960s. All of her childhood stories always remind me more of an episode of Little House on the Prairie rather than the more suburban nostalgia we see on the Brady Bunch. Growing up on a farm, she and her numerous siblings had a shared responsibility to assist their father with tasks like weeding and harvesting fruit. They also helped their mother maintain the household on laundry days and prepare meals daily. Reflecting on these chores feels like a journey through time for her. Interestingly, as she recalls her upbringing, it's hard to believe that they did have some modern conveniences, such as indoor plumbing by the time her mom reached high school. On the other hand, early settlers, making their way across the country, often faced the daunting challenge of finding suitable land to claim as their own. To get a closer look at the daily tasks of pioneering families, watch the video till end and subscribe the channel. Patching up the house. Houses in those days were constructed using whatever materials were readily available, such as this sod house. This resulted in the need for frequent repairs on both the exterior and the interior of the homes to keep them orderly and in good condition. Clearing the fields. Farming was not only the primary source of income, but also the means of putting food on the family's table. This meant a great deal of work plowing, planting, and tending to the fields throughout the changing seasons. Harvesting the crops. When the time came to gather the produce, the entire family pitched in to complete the task as swiftly as possible. This ensured they had fresh fruits and vegetables to bring to the market and provide for their needs. Preparing meat. In the past, early settlers didn't have the luxury of strolling up to a deli counter. If they wanted protein on their dinner table, they had to go hunting and dress the meat themselves. Any leftovers had to be preserved by salting. Collecting eggs. Having a few chickens around to provide eggs was always a valuable resource, whether they were being sold for extra income or scrambled up for breakfast. Churning butter. Even though it might have been repetitive, churning butter was a chore that some, like my mom, enjoyed. Pioneers traveling in wagons could attach a bucket to the bottom of their wagon to let the movement do the churning for them. Gathering wood. Having an ample supply of wood at all times was crucial, regardless of the season. It was especially important for keeping families warm during the harsh winter months. Running low on wood in the middle of December was not something anyone wanted to experience. Making candles. Before the convenience of stores, settlers couldn't simply buy candles or lamps. They had to make their own by dipping wicks into melted wax as the only practical option for lighting their homes after sunset. Quilting blankets. Every scrap of fabric from sewing clothes for the family was put to good use. These scraps became pieces in cozy quilts that provided much-needed warmth during snowy months. Fetching water. With no indoor plumbing, youngsters were often tasked with the regular chore of fetching fresh water from the well for cooking and cleaning. Whenever I find myself getting frustrated with life's minor inconveniences, I'm reminded of how much more challenging even the simplest tasks were for people in the past. It's a reminder of how fortunate we are to have things so much easier today.